Hello everyone, good morning. Today is 18th of January and I welcome you all to the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. Guys, in this particular video, we shall be discussing entire Hindu newspaper. Also, we are going to discuss the important MCQ questions based on the current affairs geography mapping. And also, I would like to tell you that entire synoptic notes of this session are available on Telegram channel. Link for Telegram is given in description box. Please download the synoptic notes if you want to use them. First of all, let's take overview of entire newspaper so that we can understand that which articles are important in today's newspaper. So here on first page we have this particular article: Pakistan condemns air strikes by Iran, recalls ambassador. So we have seen that Iran's in couple of days had made many air strikes, many attacks have been done. So this article we are going to see from the background that why Iran is carrying these air strikes. Is it a part of some bigger strategy, or are these isolated attacks? What is the reason? All these things we are going to discuss in detail, and multiple articles on the same line have come. I will club all of them and will give you a comprehensive picture. Then here we have this article: top court wants authorities to act tough on incitement to violence, hate speech. So guys, we have seen this particular thing that many number of a times, many of the legislators, many of the political leaders, they have made hate speeches, outrightly communal references have been given. So on this particular capacity there needs to be the stringent actions. Then further moving on, after that guys, we have these advertisements etc, political articles, no need to go too much in that. Then again we have the advertisements etc, so we will just be moving on. In city sectional section, the largely regional articles, political articles etc have been given. So moving on, and we'll reach to editorial section directly, because till then nothing much important has been given. Now, India's foundational battle on the Hindu question. Okay, so basically RSS, BJP, Sangh Parivar, their strategy, how they're projecting the Hindu narrative, all these things have been given. Not useful article for examination, so please don't go in this article. Then here we have this article: regional turmoil. I will cover this particular article with respect to crisis going on in West Asia. We'll take that. Then further moving on, below, a search for a deterrence in the Red Sea. I will take this particular article also. So this particular article is talking about the prospects of Donald Trump in the upcoming 2024 election, not needed for examination. Then further coming, the fading role of universities and society. Now this entire article I have read, what the article is actually talking about. Article is saying that recently UGC gave the directive to university to promote the to use the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao logo on the campus. Further, the directive has been given to promote G20 when it was going on, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and all such kind of a thing. It has been said that it is a kind of an intrusion in the independence of the universities. Okay, and article is outrightly very critical that how Prime Minister and the BJP, they are using university campuses to promote their propaganda etc. Not needed for examination. Fine. So you can just move on. Then after that, moving on, rural girls want to be engineer, doctors, but choose arts. We'll take this particular article, guys, also. Then text and context on delisting some Kuki-Zomi tribes. We'll take this article as well. What are China, where China-Taiwan relations stand? We'll take this article also. Then on next page, we have this bibliography article: Lord Ram, Iqbal, the Book of Ram. Now, this article which has come, it is talking about the premise from these three particular books. Okay, now if you have an interest, you can read this particular article. Then further, again moving in this direction, India defends Iran, cites its position against terrorism. We'll cover this particular article also with respect to the examination. Fine. Then largely here the political articles, Rahul accuses BJP of attacking different cultures etc, they have been given, no need to go. Now here on this particular page number 14, we have some very good articles and important articles. Rainfall rising in over half of India sub-district. We'll see that this is a 4-decade study based on the IMD data that has been conducted. We'll take this. Then CERT-IN takes 11 months to plug vulnerabilities. We'll take this article also. Over half of youth struggling with this basic maths. ASER. We will take this particular article also. Then further moving on world page, why did Iran carry out strikes in Iraq, Syria, Pakistan? I will cover this particular article. Fine. Fine. Then after that, Israel escalates Gaza strikes after medicine for aid deal. Okay. Now one particular thing is there that right now we see that as this war between Israel and Hamas is going on. So basically guys, what actually is happening, the entire world is looking forward to a truce. Okay, but in this particular direction, we find this particular thing that actually it is not happening. Fine, Israel has further escalated the Gaza strike. Okay, now one more thing is that you are not really required to track everyday development in this particular direction, that what is going on. Okay, then further on business page, largely we have the corporate trends, etc. Fine, quarter 3 growth may slip below 6%. ICRA's projection has been given. Okay, then we have sports. Okay, guys, I guess there was some sound issue that came. I don't know why. Just a minute. Okay, can anybody tell me that when this sound issue came? I don't know how basically this issue happened. Can just anybody tell me that why, when this particular sound issue came? Okay, till when you were able to listen the sound? Can you tell me? Okay, so after science page, sound was not there, right? From the MCQs part. Okay, anybody can give me that when the sound went. Okay, so MCQs have been covered, right? MCQs have been covered, right? Yes, guys, MCQs have been covered. I will not be able to see the timestamp. I think MCQs have been covered. Okay, so let's. So, guys, let's. So sometimes we run out of lucks. I don't know that why such things often happen. Okay, so I don't know that why mic got switched off. My apologies for the inconvenience that happened to you. I will again take this particular part, and really I feel sorry for your time that got wasted as the sound was not there. My apologies for that. Okay, now so we will be starting with the quotation. We will be starting with the quotation. Okay, fine. We will be starting with the quotation. Okay, and if MCQs were also not covered, then guys, I will briefly tell you the answers of the MCQ. Okay, and you can just manage with that. You can just manage with that. So previous days MCQ answer. First of all, we will take it up. Okay, because some students are saying that it was also not audible. So with respect to Yoga School of Philosophy, with respect to just a minute. Okay, so with respect to the Yoga School of Philosophy, consider the following statement. It belongs to Gnostic tradition. Wrong. It is aligned with the Sankhya School of Philosophy. Right. Dhyan is the final stage. Wrong. Final stage is Samadhi. Final stage is Samadhi. So how many statements are correct? One statement is correct. They are not asking which statement is correct. They are asking that out of three, how many are correct. So only one is correct. Fine. Then the next we have here is that with respect to Ganga Sagar Mela, it is wrong. Why? Because it is not held in Odisha, it is held in West Bengal. It has been mentioned in Ramayana, correct? It is part of Sundarban, correct. Correct statement is 2 and 3. D. 2 and 3. Then the next is consider the following phenomena, which are the predictions in general theory of relativity, all. So right answer is D. Okay. Now moving on. So quotation for today, Tony Benn. So basically, guys, understand this particular thing, that right now we find this particular thing, that in the entire world so many wars are going on, here and there. We find that Israel Hamas war is going on, Russia Ukraine war is going on, now Iran has carried the air strikes. So in this time, the quotation that becomes perfect is, all war represents a failure of diplomacy. Tony Benn. So all wars, why they have started? Because of the failure of diplomacy. And why the diplomacy get fails often? Because of the rigidities, because of the dogmatism, because of vested interest of that country. Some countries that come in between, and they forget morality, empathy, compassion for the poor people who will suffer because of the war. You can use this particular idea in essay paper. You can use this particular idea in essay paper, also in GS paper number 4 ethics, we can use it. Now, moving on, guys. So, as we have integrated this particular section of world mapping, it is aimed to ensure that 1-2 question on world mapping that are coming approximately every year, you should be able to tackle, because world mapping questions that are coming, they are largely coming from the current affair developments. So recently we have seen this particular thing, that Iran has carried air strikes in Iraq. So with respect to Iraq, we are going to see the important mapping locations. So you can see this particular news here. You can see this particular news here, that Iranian forces attack Israel's Mossad spy headquarters in Iraq, vows more revenge. So we are going to take Iraq today. Now, first of all, guys, when we talk about Iraq, we need to see that who are neighbors of Iraq, because many number of times the neighbors of a particular country, they are asked in the our UPSC prelims examination. So first of all, when we talk about the neighbors, we are going to start from 12 o'clock. We are going to start from 12 o'clock. So on 12 o'clock we have Turkey. On 12 o'clock we have Turkey. After that, here towards the eastern side we have Iran. Then guys, understand this particular thing, that Iraq also has a coastline in Persian Gulf. Now it is just 58-kilometer coastline in Persian Gulf, and often on map it might not be very clear, but yes, it shares a coastline in the Persian Gulf. So after Iran, Persian Gulf is there. Then Kuwait is there. After that, Saudi Arabia is there. Then we have Jordan, and then we have Syria. So again, let's revise. 12 o'clock Turkey, then we have Iran, then we have Persian Gulf, then we have Kuwait, then we have Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Syria. Once again, Turkey, Iran, Persian Gulf, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria. Okay, these all are neighbors of Iraq. Then further moving on, guys, recently we have seen that attack was carried in Iraq. So where attack was carried? Attack was carried in Erbil. Attack was carried in Erbil. Now Erbil is the capital of Kurdistan province. It is the capital of the Kurdistan province in Iraq. Now Kurds are a particular race of people who live in the regions of Iraq, Syria, Turkey, Iraq also. Now understand this particular thing, guys, that when we talk about this particular Erbil region, it was provided by Iran, that intelligence agency of Israel, that is Mossad, they have established a kind of a center or a headquarter here, and they have attacked that particular headquarter. Now understand, when we talk about Iraq, some of the geographical facts are also important, because on that question can also be asked. When we talk about Iraq, guys, Iraq has rich alluvial soil between these two rivers, that is Tigris and Euphrates. Both of these rivers are the lifeline for the Iraq. Okay, and these Tigris and Euphrates river, both of them empty in Persian Gulf. Both of them empty in the Persian Gulf. And between this particular region, fine alluvial plains of Iraq are found. Then also, many number of times, the questions might have been asked. For example, there was a question that Golan Heights mentioned in the news are where. So in the same capacity, in Iraq we have here Zagros Mountains. Zagros Mountains. So Zagros Mountains are into the north and the northeastern part of Iraq. So Zagros Mountain mentioned in news, which country? Iraq. Erbil was in news, which country? Iraq. Tigris and Euphrates, two of the important rivers, drains, which country? Iraq. The empties where? Persian Gulf. Okay. Then further moving on, guys, in this particular capacity. So already we have seen the context. We have seen the neighbors of Iraq. Okay, we have seen that Iraq has a diverse topography. They have deserts, they have plains, they have highlands, largely into the north and northeastern rivers. Okay, fine. Then also, guys, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about Iraq, Iraq has faced a lot of instabilities, particularly post 1990. So in 1990, what happened? Iraq invaded Kuwait, and post Kuwait, USA and the Western countries, they have attacked Iraq, and they have ousted Saddam Hussein. They have ousted the Saddam Hussein. And since then, guys, what has happened? There is huge instability going on in Iraq. Also, when we talk about Kurd people, so basically the Kurd people, they live in 4 countries largely: Turkey, Syria, Iran, and Iraq. Iran and Iraq. Okay, so this is about it. And now, guys, let's take the first article for today. Okay, so there are many articles that have come in this particular direction. Okay, there are many articles today that have come on a particular theme. Why did Iran carry out strikes in Iraq, Syria, and Pakistan? So we have one article here. Why did Iran carry out strikes in Iraq, Syria, and Pakistan? Then we have one article here. Regional turmoil. Then also there is one article. India defends Iran, cites its position against terrorism. So this entire coverage now we are going to see. Okay. Okay. Now understand this particular thing, guys. That all this particular chaos that is going on in West Asia, first of all, this is not new, but it has actually got renewed after October 7. What happened on October 7? On October 7, Hamas, it made an attack on Israel. And post then, Israel has started attacking Gaza and Hamas. After that particular thing, regional sympathies have developed for people of Palestine. And many countries such as Iran, who were earlier also critical of Israel, now what have happened, they have done certain, they have given support to certain militias. For example, Houthis. Right now you know already that in Red Sea area, Houthis are attacking the Israeli ships. So Houthis, from where they get ideological support and weapon support? They get support from Iran. So basically, guys, what has happened? Understand this particular thing. Understand this particular thing, that 7 October, Israel Hamas war got started. Israel Hamas war got started. And in this particular war, it has been seen that Iran is supporting Hamas, as well as Iran is supporting those forces. Iran is supporting those forces which will counter attack Israel. So in this capacity, guys, it has been seen that actually first, many of the attacks have happened on Iran. Many of attacks have happened on Iran. And now in a counter response, Iran is carrying the air strikes. It has carried the strikes first in Syria, Iraq, and now in Pakistan. First of all, let's understand this particular development. Now, guys, when we talk about December 2023, so in December 2023, what happened in Iran's Sistan? Iran's Sistan, it lies onto the border of India and Pakistan, roughly 60 kilometers away from the border of Pakistan. Okay, so first of all, guys, here, if you see carefully, we have here the map. Here we have Iran. Okay, here we have Iran. Fine, here we have Syria. Here we have Iraq. And here we have Pakistan. Here we have the Pakistan. Now, you see this particular thing, guys, that here, there is the Balochistan province of Pakistan. Now, basically, people living here in Balochistan of Pakistan and people living here in Iran, they have a lot of ethnic similarities. And what happened here in Iran, that is the Sistan of Iran, first attack was carried. And in this particular attack, what happened? In this particular attack, fine, a police station was attacked. Okay, now this particular attack, it was claimed that it has been committed by Jaish al-Adl, that is Army of Justice. So this was the first attack. Then after that, guys, what happened? One of a senior advisor of the Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. So Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, it is the wing of the defense forces of Iran. So its senior advisor was killed. In Damascus, that is in Syria. So this was second attack on Iran. Now Iran said that this senior advisor of the IRGC, he has been killed by Israel. So they blamed Israel for this. Then what happened? Third attack was carried on Iran. Third attack was carried on Iran. Now understand this particular thing, guys. In 2020, what happened? Quds Force commander. Now Quds Force is the wing under IRGC. So basically its commander Qasim Soleimani was killed in 2020, and he was killed through an attack which was sponsored by America. Now his memorial event was held on January 3, 2024. So a memorial event in the remembrance of the killing of Qasim Soleimani, who got killed 4 years back in 2020, a memorial event was held. Now this particular event was held in Kerman in Iran. So during this event that was held, two bomb blast were two bomb blast happened, and in this particular blast 94 people got killed. And who took the responsibility of these particular blast? IS, Islamic State Khorasan, ISK, Islamic State Khorasan, it took the responsibility. So this was a third major attack in Iran. So in succession, three attacks within 1 month time happened in Iran. Now what happened? Iran said this particular thing, that all these particular attacks, they have taken place after Gaza war broke out on October 7. Now Iran is saying that these attacks have happened on Iran and it is a part of a bigger conspiracy of USA and Israel against Iran. So it is a part of a bigger conspiracy of Israel and USA against Iran. So this is all about that is happening. Also guys, they say this particular thing, that because Iran is supporting Houthis, Iran is also supporting many of the militias who will pose a danger to Israel tomorrow. So preemptively all these particular thing is happening. Now what has happened? Iran has retaliated. Iran has retaliated. First of all, what it did, it carried the retaliatory attacks against Syria. So what has happened? It has launched missiles and kamikaze drones in Erbil. Already I have shown it is in Iraq. Okay. Also guys, what has happened? Same day, Iran has also launched 4 ballistic missiles into the Syria's Idlib region. Okay. Now let's see these particular location. So here we have Iran. Here we have Erbil. So Iran, what it did? Iran attacked Erbil. Then on the same day, Iran attacked Idlib region. Idlib region, here is the Idlib region. Fine, in the Haram, Syria. Idlib region. Idlib region. It carried the attack here. Okay. Now, after carrying these particular attacks, Iran said this particular thing, that they have carried these particular attacks. Why? Number one, they say that Idlib region of Syria, it was a place where the jihadists of ISK, that is the Islamic State Khorasan, they trained. So in order to eliminate ISK, they have carried the attack in Idlib. And second, Israel was also responsible, so they have carried an attack into the Erbil region of Iraq. Now, what happened? Third attack that has been carried by the Iran now. Third attack that has been carried by Iran now is in Pakistan's Balochistan. So here if you see, we can see this particular thing, that there is the Pakistan coast subs. Okay, so here attack has been carried by Iran. This was the third attack. Now basically this particular attack has been carried in Panjgur, which is a border town in the Pakistan's Balochistan. Now, why they have carried attack? Because they say that Jaish al-Adal. Now, if you see Jaish al-Adal, it is here. This Jaish al-Adal has earlier carried the attack in Iran's Sistan, which is onto the border. So, in order to punish Jaish al-Adal, they have carried the attack. And Iran says that Jaish al-Adal, it is an organization. It is an organization whose aim is to reclaim this particular area from Iran. Now understand this thing, that when we talk about Iran, largely population of Iran is Shia. Okay, when we talk about Iran, so we find this particular thing, that Iran's large population is Shia. But the area of Iran which makes border with the Pakistan, there Sunni people live. And Jaish al-Adal, it is also a Sunni Islamist group. And they want to separate the Iran's eastern province of Sistan, Balochistan, because they say that it is Sunni. The rest of the Iran is Shia. And they say that the Shia people of Iran, they have committed atrocities to the Sunni people of Iran who are living in the eastern province of Sistan. So they want to get it separated. So Iran has carried the attack. Now, guys, understand this particular thing, that as this particular war is going on, and at the same time we see that the Houthis are also there, which are the Shia militia group, and they are attacking the Red Sea. They are also getting the support from Iran. Now understand this particular thing, that what Iran is doing, Iran in a way is trying to flex its muscles. That we can do the counter attack. But this might will also lead to a kind of a domino effect, where because of this attack, many more counterattacks will happen and entire West Asia region might become instabilized. So this is something that is now to be seen. So now this is a classic case of regional anarchy there is, which is going on. Unilaterally, military attacks, etc., are being committed by one country against the another. Now, if we see, guys, what happened just before the October 7 attack that happened, Jake Sullivan, the US National Security Advisor, had said this particular thing, that Middle East is quieter than ever. In the last 2 decades, right now, the Middle East is the most quietest. But after that, these attacks have happened. Now, first of all, guys, if we talk in 2020, there were some positive developments that happened. For example, Abraham Accords were signed. In these Abraham Accords, what happened? Israel, Dubai, Israel, UAE, Bahrain, they have normalized their relation. Also, what happened recently, if you see China, they have brokered an agreement between Saudi Arabia and Iran to normalize their relation. So that things were going on a good in a good direction. But now what has happened after Israel attacked after the Hamas attacked Israel, this particular thing has become muddied up. Now it is being said that, see, for so many years, the Palestine issue was unaddressed. This was an issue which could blow up one day, but nobody taken care of that. And what happened when this particular Palestinian issue blew up post October 7? Now we see that one war leading to other war, and entire West Asia region might become a region of crisis. So therefore, all the stakeholders need to come together and need to find for a genuine peace. Need to find for a genuine peace. So that is all, guys, about it. And now, moving on in the next article. Moving on in the next article. A search for a deterrence in the Red Sea. A search for a deterrence in the Red Sea. Okay. So, guys, this article also, you can say that it is a kind of a continuation of that particular article only. You can say that it is also the continuation of that particular article only. Now, guys, when we talk about the Red Sea area, okay, fine. Okay, fine. So, guys, here we can see the map of Red Sea. So here we can see the Red Sea here. So here we have Yemen. Now, in Yemen, we find that Houthis are one of a militia group. Here, Houthis are one of a militia group. Houthis are a Shia militia group, and they get their ideological and weapon support from Iran. And also, it is being said that the China is supporting the Houthi group. Now, the Houthi group, they are attacking the ships which are going or which are entering or exiting Red Sea, particularly the ships which are destined towards the Israel. So all these particular ships are being attacked. So here, Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, Bab el Mandab, this entire region has become disturbed. Now, this particular attack by Houthis in the Red Sea area, it is posing a lot of dangers. It is posing a lot of dangers to the global shipping route. And now what has happened? USA, which earlier did not declare Houthi as a terrorist group, now they are going to declare Houthis from the February a designated global terrorist group, and by that funding, political sanctions, etc. will be imposed on the Houthi group as well as the area where they are operating. Now understand this particular thing, guys. We have seen this particular thing that Houthis, they have possessed sophisticated weapons. They have missiles, they have drones. Okay, state of the art weaponry are there in the hands of the Houthis. Now understand this particular thing. When we talk about the region around the Somalia, Djibouti, etc., this particular region in the past, even today, has a lot of piracy. Now that piracy was earlier a very big problem. That piracy earlier was a very big problem for the global shipping. Countries came together and together they tried to fight with the piracy. Now piracy's problem has come down little bit, but now these Houthis, they are challenging the global shipping. Now understand this particular thing, guys, that when we talk about the pirates, these pirates were controlled with a lot of difficulty even when they did not had support by state actors. But these Houthis, they have support by the state actors, for example, Iran, China. So this is going to be a very big trouble for the maritime shipping. Now understand this particular thing, guys, that when we talk about the piracy, Just a minute. Okay, so when we talk about the piracy that was developing around the Horn of Africa, okay, there was a delayed response against this particular piracy. And because of this particular delayed response was there, what happened? What happened? Basically, the pirates, what happens? Fine. The pirates, they get used to modern weaponry, and later it becomes difficult. Also, the international response, what it provided times to adapt to the technologies, and also they developed the tactics to hijack the ships, and these ships were used as the motherships. Now ships were hijacked, and the people who are on board with on these particular ships, they were used as a bargaining chip by these pirates. And now it is being said that if we did not control Houthi rebels in the time, then they can also adopt the same course of action. They will attack, they will hijack the ships, and the people on board, they will use them as a bargaining chip. Okay, so this is something that is emerging. So neutralizing the Houthis is very important. Now, what has happened in response? Operation Prosperity Guardian has been launched by the USA. But many of the countries who earlier said that they will join the Operation Prosperity Guardian, now they are working independently. For example, we see this particular thing. That France, Italy, Spain, they have declined to be the part of the Operation Prosperity Guardian, and they say that they are going to operate independently. Then also Saudi Arabia, who happens to be a most important country in this particular region, given its proximity around the Red Sea, it has said that it will not join the operation. Fine. Why? Because right now we have seen that few days back, there was a kind of a normalization that Saudi Arabia was looking with the Iran, and it does not want to geopolitize that particular attempt. Then also when we talk about India, India is the part of the combined maritime forces since 2022. It was the associate partner in 2022, and India became the full-time partner of the combined maritime force in 2023. But still, India is not actively participating in Operation Prosperity Guardian. India is also saying that they will work independently here. Now, we see this particular thing that there is a kind of a division in this entire region. Fine, USA has failed to bring all the countries on the board, and Houthis are trying to take the advantage of this particular thing. Now, understand this particular thing. Houthis, they have become so powerful that Houthis might are actually on a verge to get recognized as the legitimate rulers of Yemen. In that capacity, what will happen? Houthis might get the status of a state actor. Now you see what happened in the case of Afghanistan. Taliban become so powerful over a period of time that now the Taliban have been declared as the rulers of Afghanistan. Same thing will happen with the Houthis in the Yemen. So right now the time has come that it is not that countries should be divided, they should come united and should deal with this particular challenge. Okay, so that is all about it. Now moving on, where do China-Taiwan relations stand? Where do China-Taiwan relations stand? Now, basically, guys, this article we are going to see with respect to the GS paper number 2, International Affairs. Let me tell you some basic background information first, and then we'll go in this particular article. So recently what has happened, elections have got conducted in Taiwan. And after these particular elections, DPP, that is a Democratic Progressive Party, it has emerged victorious. And Lai Ching-te, fine, Lai Ching-te has become president for Taiwan. Now, Lai Ching-te of DPP has been referred to as the troublemaker by China. Why? Now, understand this particular thing, guys, that when we talk about China, China maintains one China principle. As per this one China principle, China says that there is only one China, that is the mainland China. And they say that Taiwan is not an independent sovereign country, rather Taiwan is part of China. And one day, China will capture Taiwan. China will reunify Taiwan with itself, and for that, even if they want to use the force, they will use the force. Fine, this is the China's view on Taiwan. But we see that in Taiwan, a particular political faction has emerged, which is called as the pro-independence faction. And this pro-independence group, they say that we are not the part of China, we are an independent sovereign country. They promote Taiwanization. They promote Taiwanization. What is Taiwanization? Taiwanization is a political attitude to look for own destiny for the Taiwan, devoid of China, devoid of China. And when we talk about this Democratic Progressive Party, this Democratic Progressive Party is a pro-independence political party. And Lai Ching-te has been called as a troublemaker. It is because of their stand towards the pro-democracy. Pro-democracy. Now, guys, understand this particular thing. After this particular election, small island nation Nauru, what they declared? They declared that they are shifting their diplomatic relation from Taipei, that is from Taiwan, to China, Beijing. Now, this is not new. Many countries, they have scrapped their diplomatic relation from Taiwan and they are shifting to China. First of all, understand this particular thing. China has given this particular very clear advisory that if any country will develop their relations with Taiwan, they cannot maintain diplomatic relation with us, that is China. Okay. Now, what has happened? Therefore, very few countries earlier recognized Taiwan. For example, in 2016, there were 22 countries in the world which recognized Taiwan as an independent country. Now, there are just 11 countries. Why? There are 11 countries only because China has promised the countries of investment, and by that they have snapped diplomatic relations with the Taiwan. So what has happened? What has happened? Beijing, it is promising financial investment, infrastructure development to the countries, and countries are moving away from Taiwan to China. Taiwan does not have deep pockets such as China. Fine. And here the pro-independence party, this is also becoming a problem for the China. Now understand this particular thing, that the 1992 consensus of China, fine, 1992 consensus of China declares this one China principle which I just discussed. Okay, it was agreed between the Kuomintang and the Communist Party of China. So Kuomintang, that is the KMT, was a pro-status quo party which was earlier dominant in Taiwan. This party has agreed that yes, we will stay under the umbrella of China only. We will not search for our own independent path. So in 1992, this one China consensus was agreed. But the DPP political party, fine, which has now won the election, they have refuted this particular 1992 consensus. And what they are repeating? They are repeating for the Taiwanization. Okay, what is the Taiwanization? Where the Taiwan says that we have our own culture, we have our own political values, we don't have any connection with the Taiwan, with the China. Now, what has happened? New generations that are coming in Taiwan, these new generations also do not feel any historical affinity with China. They also don't feel any historical affinity with China. Now, this is creating problems for China because right now China has two objectives. Number one objective is rejuvenation of Chinese nation, and second is reunification with the Taiwan. And in that capacity, the things are becoming difficult for the China right now. Things are becoming difficult for the China right now. Now, understand this particular thing, guys, that when we talk about Taiwan, Taiwan conducted its first democratic elections in 1996. At that point of a time, also China had carried the missile attacks towards the Taiwan from the across the Taiwan Strait. And over again, as elections are being held in Taiwan, what is happening? Pro-democracy wave is becoming more and more strengthened, and this is becoming an irritant for China. Now we need to see that what China will do. Okay, as of now, China has not set any timeline by which they will reunify Taiwan. But as nationalism has emerged around the world, China might also do something to reunify Taiwan. And this might be a possibility that one more front for battle might open up. So all these particular things are pointing towards a very fragile political scenario. Okay, moving on. Next article on delisting some Kuki-Zomi tribes. Okay. Now, guys, this particular article concerns with respect to Manipur crisis. It concerns to Manipur crisis. I will not advise you to go too much in detail in this particular article. Why? I will just tell you in 1 minute. First of all, let me tell what this issue is all about. So, guys, you already know this thing that in Manipur, this social the Manipur conflict is going on. More than 8 months have happened since this Manipur conflict began. Now, when we talk about the Manipur crisis, understand this thing that this crisis started as a conflict between Metis and Kukis. Metis and Kuki-Zomis. Understand? When we talk about Methi people for a long period of time has demanded the scheduled tribe status. They have demanded the scheduled tribe status. And what actually happened in 2023, Manipur High Court even provided that the Methis should be given the scheduled tribe status. Okay. However, cookies, okay, they have said that Metis should not be given the scheduled tribe status because first of all, they are demographically already dominant. Politically also they are dominant. Economically they are well off. Also, therefore, it has been said that ST status should not be given to Metis. Okay. Now, guys, what has happened? Because of this ST status, there is the conflict that got started between the Metis and the Kuki community. And more than 8 months have happened that this particular conflict is going on. Fine. So, more than 8 months have happened that this particular conflict is going on. Now, what has happened? In this particular conflict, Manipur government has received a representation. And this representation says that Kuki and Zomi tribes, which right now have the ST status, some of them should be delisted from scheduled tribe. They should be removed from scheduled tribe, and in that place, Meti's name should be added. In that particular place, Meti's name should be added. Now, guys, understand this particular thing that this representation, this request has been forwarded by the center also to the Manipur government. Manipur government that there is a need to delist some of the Kuki and Zomi tribes, and there is a potential of putting the Metis in the ST list. Now, this particular thing is further going to widen up this particular conflict in the times to come. Now, what this particular article is saying, this article is saying this particular thing that historically they are providing that in which year, which order came, which of the Kuki-Zomi is a big group. Within that, there are many subgroups. Which subgroup got added in the ST list in which year and all such things. That detail you are not at all needed to track for your exam point of view. So this is the only important aspect of this particular article that is there. So guys, always it is very important that you learn the art of skimming the newspaper. Often we are collecting the redundant, irrelevant information which is not needed. Okay. For example, okay, which year, which particular Kuki tribe, what was the definition of Kuki tribe, what was the definition of the Zomi, who subgroups will be included, all such information not needed to be seen. Okay. Now moving on, guys, to the next article. Rainfall rising in over half of India's sub-district, says 4-decade study. So impact of climate change on monsoons and rainfall. So basically what has happened, a study has been conducted by Council on Energy, Environment and Water, CEEW. Now this particular study has studied the IMD rainfall data for the last 40 years, and they have provided certain trends that are emerging in the rainfalls in India. So what I have done in the pointer format, I have provided you the highlights of this particular study. Number one, 55% of the tehsils in India, they have seen a rise in rainfall. Around 11% of the tehsil, they have seen a decline in the rainfall, and others have seen no difference. They are the same pattern. Now, if you see on the face, it looks that, okay, rainfall is increasing, which is a good thing. But at the same time, guys, we see this particular thing that the rainfall, now basically there is a variation in terms that when the rains are coming. You see this particular thing that the tehsils are actually experiencing lower rainfall during the period of June, July, and somewhere June to September. Now you know that June, July, August, largely these are the periods when the Kharif crop is to be sown. And during this particular time, the rainfalls have been declined. So what it might lead to? It might lead to decline in the agricultural production, particularly to the Gangetic plains. Okay. Secondly, we find this particular thing that there are 30% of districts, it witnessed several more years of deficient rainfall, and 38% of the districts, they have seen the excessive rainfall. Now you see, neither deficient rainfalls are desirable nor excess rainfalls are desirable, because excess rainfalls lead to crop failure, deficient rains also lead to often crop failure, and also excessive rainfalls lead to the problems of flooding and all such kind of things. So point is that, guys, that now as India is moving to election, we are also preparing the union budget. It is important that we should do the future proofing of economy. We do the future proofing of economy and should account for all these particular impacts that are coming on Indian economy. Okay, so that is all about it. Then CERT-IN takes over 11 months to plug vulnerabilities exposing personal data. You can mention it as a case study for your GS paper number 3. You can use it as a case study for your GS paper number 3, issues related to the cyber threats. Issues related to the cyber threats. Now, guys, what this article is explaining, let me give you an idea. So basically, one of a cyber security expert. So what happened? One of a cyber security expert. Now, this name is not important. Mr. Shai Krishna Uthapali. So what he was doing, he was preparing a prototype of one. He was cyber security tool. He was preparing a prototype for a cyber security tool. During that, he found this particular thing, that on many of the government websites, personal information of the people and personal information such as Aadhaar card, PAN card, their date of birth, passport details, etc., they are available very easily on the government websites. So what has happened? It has been identified that prominent personalities such as Ratan Tata, Mukesh Ambani, Gautam Adani, Shah Rukh Khan, Virat Kohli, and many influential peoples, their PAN number, their Aadhaar number, their date of birth, etc., they are easily accessible from the government websites. Cyber security was not uptight. Now, this particular vulnerability was flagged. But actually, it took around 11 months. And 4 days to plug this particular vulnerability. Now, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about CERT, CERT stands for Computer Emergency Response Team India. CERT stands for the Computer Emergency Response Team India. Now, it is a dedicated agency to ensure the cyber security in India, and how it can take more than 11 months to plug such a big breach. So this is the issue that have developed here. So point is that we cannot be complacent. We cannot be having a lackluster approach in the cyber security given the cyber threats that have emerged. So recently one incident happened that just by using the PAN number of some of the VIPs, 50 lakh rupees were duped from the bank. So in this particular time, such private information, personal information that is there on the online, this should not be the case. Then moving on, over half of youth struggling with basic maths, ASER study. Now, ASER stands for Annual Status of Education Report. ASER stands for Annual Status of Education Report. And it has released Beyond Basics report, which has been prepared on the basis of more than 34,000 students survey. And this particular report provides that there is a huge learning gap that are there in India. Now let's understand. They provide this particular thing that overall 86.8% of the children between the age of 14 to 18, they are in educational institution, which is a good thing. But at the same time, though they are in educational institution, but learning gaps are there. Learning abilities are not very good. First of all, they say the percentage of youth not enrolled is 3.9% for 14-year-old, and out in the 14 to 18 age group, 32.6% are not enrolled into the educational institution. Also, it has been provided that majority of the people who are enrolled in education in 14 to 18 group, they are enrolled into the humanities or arts stream. Less number of people are enrolled into the science courses. And particularly when we talk about the girls, girls are even more less likely to be enrolled into the science, technology, engineering and mathematics stream. Only 28% girls are enrolled into the science, technology, engineering and mathematics stream. Compared to boys, 36% boys are enrolled. So we see that the girls are not enrolled on par with the boys in the STEM. in the STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Also, it has been provided that basic learning skills are not there. For example, about 25% of the children between the age of 14 to 18, they cannot read a class 2 level text fluently. Class 2 level text they cannot read fluently. More than half they struggle with division, and only 43.3% are able to do the division problems correctly. So there are huge learning gaps. Now, one additional point you can write. Government has already come out with the Nipun Bharat Abhiyan to build the foundational and literacy skills in the children. But anyhow, guys, we need to put more effort to ensure that learning gaps can be plugged. So this is all, guys, about this particular issue. And with this, we come to an end to the session. Guys, I hope that you have liked this particular video. Okay. And guys, please do answer the MCQ questions. Please leave the right answers in the comment box. Now we'll meet tomorrow. Till then, please take care of yourselves. Thank you so much.